All right, I'm Nick. Out in the garage. Gonna take a few minutes today, probably too many minutes, and ramble about the Old Town Sportsman Salty 120 PDL, referred to as the Salty for the rest of the video, and to compare it to the Old Town Sportsman Big Water 132 PDL. Now, I did a video a while back. I'll put it up here. Final thoughts on the Salty, which obviously I lied because here we are. More final thoughts, additional final thoughts. And I'm going to go back and tell you guys that I wanted to get the Salty, having already fished from it when it was called an Ocean Kayak Malibu PDL, because I knew it was lighter, right? Now, obviously, when I first purchased this same kayak back in 2017, I didn't like everything about it, and that's why I didn't use it. Overall, the Predator Big Water is a much better kayak, and I'll tell you why in a second. So if you're comparing the two and you can only have one, I would choose the Big Water all day. But here's why. So the Big Water weighs 120 pounds fully rigged. That's with the 20-pound PDL drive. The Salty weighs 106 pounds fully rigged. Now, that's only 14 pounds, right? 14 pounds, although significant, isn't that significant if you think about how the kayaks are designed. Now, we could overlay some photos or video here. The Big Water has a molded in front handle. It's easy to grab. The back of the kayak has grooves underneath it. You can grab the kayak. It's actually really well balanced and easy to maneuver around. When you're picking it up, you're not hitting your leg with the inside of the kayak or anything like that. Now the Salty, although 14 pounds lighter technically, and it's easier to move a little bit, but it's awkward. It has like really wide back end. It's really big hips. The handle is offset to the left at an angle. So if you try to grab the back of it, the whole thing leans to the side. Those are just weight things and ergonomics that don't make it all that user friendly. Now I know a lot of you guys, make these videos and they reach people who fish different environments, right? And truthfully being said, the majority of you fish freshwater lakes, ponds, and you back your truck up and it's either in the water or you put it on wheels and you roll it apart, across a perfectly paved parking lot. That's not really the case around here. Especially all summer, we're going offshore. We're pushing the kayaks over a minimum of, say, 50 yards of sugar sand. And if you don't know what sugar sand is, when you put your foot in it, your foot just slides, okay? So it can wear you out, especially when you do it every day. It's not easy. It's definitely rough work, okay? But it's fun. So that 14 pounds, although a significant amount of weight, and that's bone stock. No fish finder, no rod holder, rods, batteries, nothing, right? It's not that significant when you consider ergonomics and how easy it is or how user-friendly a platform is. So that is one strike against the Salty, which may sound silly, but is a huge thing that's not ever calculated for or thought about. We did a review of the Topwater 120, a few years ago. My wife and I had trouble carrying it around the house, not because it was heavy, but because the handles are set into the kayak and it was super awkward for being 100+ pounds. It didn't make sense, right? That's less important, not often considered. Now, in one of the first videos about the Salty, I complained that there was no access to the inside of the kayak if you had an issue where you took on water. And I also complained about this in the autopilot, right? Well, people are like, oh, but you're not going to get water inside your kayak. You get water inside your kayak launching in the surf. The other day, Jamie and I launched the kayak to go offshore. It wasn't terribly rough. The waves were definitely breaking over 2 foot, but they were spaced out, 4 or 5 seconds. Jamie hadn't had much experience launching in that, so I was standing next to him, kind of guiding him through the process. And in that process, I took a wave holding the kayak over the front of the Salty. The Salty has a scupper hole in the front and then 2 that are set behind the pedal drive. The kayak was sinking. It was underwater because the front of it, the front container, and I'll roll in some B-roll, the front area where you can see this transducer mount was completely submerged, and then it rolled into the area where I was sitting on the next wave, and my legs were underwater. Okay, the kite doesn't have any like shoulders because it's so short and so pointy. It actually kind of does this. It's not even. It's kind of weird shaped, right? So the kayak was actually underwater, and I stepped out, and the kayak, resurfaced after it drained the water. That's not good in the surf, okay? Following that trip, I got back to the beach. I put the kayak on the wheels, and I thought I heard water sloshing back and forth inside. And I thought it was crazy because I was right next to the surf, and obviously the surf was rough. And I get back to the house, didn't really think about it, and then the next day, you go to put it on the trailer or put it on the truck, and I hear the water slosh around inside the kayak when I moved it. And I should have checked, but I didn't, because I didn't think it was that much water. And it wasn't that much water, right? But you got to tip it on its side. The drain plug is... Where is the dang drain plug and everything? I don't even remember. That's on the front, right? Yeah, it's on the front. So you got to tip it in the front, drain it out of there, which is different than the big water. With the big water, all you got to do, if you do get water in it, which you typically don't, you just open the front hatch and all the water rolls to the front. And those are silly little things, right? But I just want to point them out so you guys could think about it. Today was the last day I fished in the Salty. I'm going to put it up for sale, so if you live in the local area and you are interested in purchasing it, let me know. I am considering selling it with the Garmin EcoMap 94 SV. Fantastic unit, fully rigged. Yeah, I think I'm going to sell it. Might take the fish finder off. I haven't really decided yet on that. So I'll get some more information on that if you are interested in it. And I think that's about it. Overall, I still think it's a fantastic kayak. I still think for short, quick trips, inshore, freshwater, small bodies of water, it's fantastic. It is shaped kind of round in the front, so you do hear some hull slap if you're in any kind of rough water. Some of those things just aren't avoidable. But if I had to choose and I can only pick one kayak to go offshore and be my primary kayak to actually fish from, I would pick the big water, especially in the Old Town lineup. I think overall it is the best boat they make without any questions. That's it. Tomorrow we're going to go pick up a different kayak just to do some experimenting with. Lighter, okay? I told you the Salty was because I wanted it to be lighter. So we're going to go look at a different kayak. Kind of excited about it. I'm just trying to get lighter, right? I'm not getting any younger. Nothing's getting lighter. We're still pushing a whole lot of kayaks. So if I can make my kayak, my personal kayak, light as possible, it's a win in my eyes. So I'll keep you guys updated tomorrow, day after, whenever I have the kayak at the house. So give you guys a quick walkthrough of what it is and why. And that's that. If you have any questions about the Salty, leave me a comment below or shoot me an email at nick@navarrekayakfishing.com.